Are you ready for the Horror Shed podcast starting now?
Welcome back, everyone, to the Horror Shed podcast. I'm Jared. Today we're joined with South Jersey Jason, as usual. How you doing today, sir?
I'm doing good. We are just now winding up on the Halloween season. I know you're part of you inside is crying because the the majority of haunt season is coming to an end. You can relax for a little bit and then do their holiday haunts, but I'm sure you're kind of happy in a way because you have your weekends back, you can relax.
Um, I'll be happy till like November 23rd, and then I'll be like, all right, when's September?
Definitely for next year, count Irene and I in for Reaper's Revenge. So when you schedule that date, let us know so I can make sure I put off, for work if I work that day.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
I gotcha. You watch any good movies lately? Anything new?
Shit, what did I just my mind is like a fog work, now I'm working overnights and learning this new career of mine. I did watch something and I I can't remember what the frick it was. I am catching up on the last season of The Walking Dead.
Okay.
I've been binging that. I'm almost caught up, so it's actually keeping my attention
That's good.
because past couple of seasons has kind of been a snooze fest,
I haven't
Um,
seen a single episode because I've wanted them to finish so I could
so you
just
can just
attack.
the one thing that I signed up for AMC Plus, and the one thing I don't like if I have not found it yet is they only have one season of The Walking Dead on, which is the current season. I don't see a backlog.
That's
So
weird.
I have to go in to further investigate. But when I click on The Walking Dead, it says seasons, but only season 11 comes up.
Hmm.
But I got AMC Plus because there's some shows on there that are only AMC Plus, but Shudder's included with that. And
Oh,
the price
okay.
is only $8.99. I was paying just $6.99 for Shutter alone.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, why
yeah,
not?
yeah. But you told me you watched Barbarian last night,
I
correct?
did. I watched it on the
Okay.
plane back home. I didn't fall asleep during it, which is
Okay,
surprising
that's
for a
good.
plane movie. It
All
was
right.
it was different. It was a different kind of idea. A little bit of a slow burn at the start, but I'm giving it a solid 3 blood splats.
Out of five.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, is it an anthology? Because I was telling a friend at work last night, so she started watching it, and she's like, "What the fuck am I watching?" I'm like, "I don't know," but everyone I talked to said they liked it.
Yeah, I don't know if it's an anthology, but it doesn't seem like it because it kind of has a start,
Okay.
middle, and end. There isn't like a backstory to it. You kind of get to the backstory as you watch it.
Okay.
It was a cool
Okay.
idea for a horror movie, and the actors were great. So, I mean, it was okay.
Yeah, I actually I just got in the mail. I don't know if you've seen it yet, but X.
Not yet.
Okay. Because Pearl's coming out I think in November.
Okay.
So and I loved X. Ty West. I think he is a he's an unsung hero in what the horror community needs. The stuff that he puts out with A24, his stuff, not A24 in general, is good because A24 also did Hereditary, Midsummer, so I didn't care for either of those, but Ty West is really good. So, and he wrote this story as a trilogy. So we're gonna have X, then Maggie, which is a prequel to X,
Right.
and then there's another one coming out. I can't remember, and it all revolves around this one character, I believe. So,
Oh, that's cool. It's a cool idea.
and then tonight after we record, we're gonna go to the South Mall because it's the last night of their food trucks, and when we get home, if I don't fall asleep, we're gonna revisit Hoobie's Halloween or Hoobie's Halloween with Adam Sandler.
Oh, that was a funny movie,
Yeah,
and it
and
takes place in part of a haunt.
okay.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna follow up with it's oh my gosh, is it Marlon Wayans? No, yeah, Marlon Wayans, think he's got like a Halloween movie out on Netflix. He's like married, has a daughter, and like the Halloween animatronics or decorations come to life. It's like a kids movie, but
Oh, okay.
it looks. I watched the trailer. I'm like, this looks pretty cute. It's sort of like a Goosebumps type movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then tomorrow night, I think we're going to. Well, actually, no, tomorrow's like trick or treating, so we're gonna watch Barbarian, and there's another horror movie that's A Smile. I think I might be able to get a copy of that.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I haven't
Yeah.
checked that out yet.
What about you? Any plans? Obviously, this is your last weekend of your haunts. What are you closing it out with?
All right, so far what I'm looking at is Friday, probably 13th hour in Jersey,
Nice. Okay.
with possible the Conover killings. It's a new guy who opened a trail up. He's had a pretty good year.
Okay. Is that in
Saturday,
the same location, 15th hour?
it's about an hour away.
Okay.
Then Saturday, we want to get to Waldorf Estate of Fear.
Okay.
And then Sunday, I already have my tickets for Frightland in Delaware.
Oh, nice.
And Monday, there's a chance I'm heading to the Dent Schoolhouse. We'll
Nice.
see.
Nice.
And then
Nice.
possibly the following week, it might be Lincoln Mill on Thursday, and there might be a couple more open. We'll see.
Yeah, I know some haunts do run to like the first weekend of November, which is cool.
Yeah.
I like that. So
But we'll
now,
see how it all plays out.
now, do you think a haunt could be open year round, like on the weekends?
No,
Yeah.
there's not enough of me out there. Because even when you go to like Field of Screams for the media
Mhm.
night, you saw it was a
Yeah.
decent amount of people out.
Yeah.
But what if I told you that every one of those attractions queue lines goes into the parking lot during the season?
Really?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Like they're pretty long queue lines to begin with, and then
Yeah.
it goes all the way out to the buildings.
My gosh.
Yeah, that's how busy
So
they get.
it's a good thing we got there when we did.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
what everyone talks about. Like, why do you get there so early? Because I can walk right in.
Yeah.
I have waited in one line this year.
Which one was that?
Haunted Overload.
Okay. Okay.
But when you wait in Haunted Overload, it's all decorated. Like you got giant skulls and everything surrounding it.
Yeah, so it gives you something to look at and it kind of makes time go by fast.
Doesn't even feel like you wouldn't even know you were in line if you
Yeah,
didn't have
that's
to
how
give
it was.
tickets.
When Irene and I went to Universal like 10 years ago,
Same principle.
and it was the Harry Potter, and she's never seen a Harry Potter movie, but she was just mesmerized by everything. It was a 45-minute wait, but it didn't feel like that.
I could be in that Gringotts escape for 45 minutes watching all the shit move, like the books and everything.
Yeah.
It was dope.
How cool would it be if like Universal did like for horror nights like a horror Harry Potter type thing, you know?
Well, I was actually surprised that they closed the Harry Potter world for horror nights.
Yeah.
Why? Like,
Yeah.
you're just missing income right there. It's
Yeah.
Halloween, Harry Potter,
Yeah.
they're witches.
Yeah.
A lot of the movie takes place during Halloween. I mean,
I wonder because it's like one of their busiest attractions. They think maybe people would be going more towards that, you know, like
maybe.
yeah. But who knows?
Yeah, what are we going to do?
Or maybe because I mean, I know is it because Harry Potter's Warner Brothers and they don't want to mix it?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Could be.
Damn licensing.
I know.
Yeah.
Well, what are we doing today, sir?
All right. So, as you know, but the viewers or listeners may not know, I just recently moved to the Lehigh Valley area back in July, and I haven't done too much exploring in the community as far as haunted stories with locations, because in Jersey, if I ever could, I would go visit these locations. And so I've been wanting to do like haunted locations and like cryptozoids in Pennsylvania. And I figured let's start it out with haunted locations in the Lehigh Valley area only. That's where I am. And the majority of the places on my list are as far as 2 minutes away from me and 20 minutes up to a half an hour. There's one actually right near where I work. So yeah. So the majority of these locations take place in Bethlehem City, more in the historic part of the city, which last year when I went, it's actually 2 years ago, I went to Bethlehem City for the first time. I didn't even know I was walking around these until I'm like, oh shit, I parked right next to here. Oh, I went into this store. So now I want to go back. And I'm surprised they don't do ghost tours. I mean, it's Bethlehem, so they're a little religious, so that's probably why. It's sacrilegious right there. All right. You're right there, a little technical difficulties.
Fell right off my head.
Yeah, speaking of which, I got new Sony headphones, and these things are nice. My cat ate my other headphones. So
I had these when I first started traveling. They're nice little noise cancellation Sonys. And then American Airlines gave me like a company I never heard of, but apparently they're like $600 headphones. I was like, all right,
holy shit.
shit.
Would because you're like a frequent flyer?
Yeah.
Ah, you bastard.
They gave me a ton of it was right after COVID, so I was
Okay.
doing back-to-back trips to California for like 10 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
So they gave me the headphones and it was a $300 wireless speaker.
Oh shit.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Damn. Oh, not to change the subject on that, but from last week's episode when we were talking about the Amityville books, I
Yes.
did end up purchasing that High Hopes.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it was like $28.99 or best offer. So I threw him a bid of 25 and he accepted it. So I should have it on Monday.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah. And our friend Dave Brown, who you haven't met in person yet, you probably just know him on social media. He messaged me out of blue today. He's like, yeah, I think I'm gonna go to Amityville next week, walk around. Like, you bastard. So all right, but we're gonna get back to the Lehigh Valley haunts.
Let's do it.
All right. So I got this all this information from a website called McCall. It stands for something. It's basically like a local it's like a local blogger, I guess. The Morning Call. So it's like a newspaper, like a local newspaper. So the Morning Call online. So Dungal Square. And for each of these, if you're a listener, which would entice you to watch it, we'll attach an image of each location that I talk about. So if you haven't subscribed to our channel, go to the Horror Shed podcast and subscribe to our YouTube channel. All right, so Dungal Square. Residents of an apartment above Dungal Square have reported feeling someone climbing into bed with them, rumored to be the ghost of Liesel Betchel. The story goes that the 17-year-old Moravian farm girl fell in love with the Marquise de Lafayette while helping care for him during his recuperation from war wounds. However, he was married. Well, that's usually how it happens. And they were of different faiths. So that's strike two, leaving her love unrequited. In addition to the pillow talk, owners of the buildings that make up the square have reported unexplained water leaks during renovations. So Moravian is a big religion in the Bethlehem area. It's I believe it comes from Germany.
Okay.
So and there's also a college, Moravian College, bookstore. Fun fact, in the town of Hope, New Jersey, was Moravian Cemetery was a filming location for Friday the 13th when, and then after the initial opening credits, Annie walks by, or no, does Annie? No, Enos and Annie drive by Moravian Cemetery, and the gates and stuff are still there. It's a little bit more busier in the cemetery than it was in 1979 when they filmed it. All right, so let's talk about this. All right, so we have a 17-year-old girl who is hooking up with a French guy.
Yep.
Okay, and the only thing this website didn't do is talk about like was she killed, stuff like that. Like, why is she haunting? Did the wife of the Marquise like discover them, and did she do something? Why is it leaking? Was she a bedwetter?
Did she drown? Like,
Did she drown? Yeah. So I have walked down Dongle Square. All right, so the Easton Area Public Library. So this is actually in Northampton County where I work, and it's Easton's a small area. The library was built in 1903 over an old cemetery. You move the tombstones, but not the bodies. What movie is that from?
Poltergeist.
There you go. That had fallen into disuse. When the library was being prepared for construction, the bones of 500 bodies were unearthed, including that of Elizabeth Bell Mammy Morgan, a hotel owner in the early 1800s. Her ghost may be responsible for strange occurrences such as doors and cabinets opening and closing. About 30 of those bodies were moved to a mass burial site, marked still by a slight indentation in the asphalt at the building's northeast exit. One day after work, I am going to this library and I will take photos of this little mound.
It's crazy
Now,
that they still did a mass burial site in the early 2000, 1903. It wasn't that long
yeah.
ago.
And you know, this when I was reading this reminded me of the original Ghostbusters when they go to the New York Library and there's like the
Yes,
ghost of the librarian.
that's funny.
Yeah. Okay, King George Inn. This is also in Bethlehem City. It's it sucks because it's not like a restaurant now. It's an office building. But
Uh,
again, I actually park right next. There's like a parking garage like right in the area. So it's now repurposed as an office building. The King George Inn once might have been the site of violence during the French and Indian War of the mid 18th century. Legend has it that a family trying to escape an attack hid their child in a well, but the child didn't survive. Occupants have reported distant sounds of a baby crying. Uh,
that's crazy.
yeah, yeah.
There's no better place to put a kid than a well. I mean,
What happened to put him like under the sink or something, you
right?
know?
Like, damn, a well.
Yeah. Okay, so now forgive me if I pronounce this correctly. I'm going to say it's a Sayri Mansion. And this again is in Bethlehem City. Robert Hashem Sayre, the chief engineer of the Lehigh Valley Railroad, built this Gothic style mansion in Fountain Hill in the 1850s, moving his family there in 1858. Now a bed and breakfast, its visitors say they've seen the figure of a woman, possibly Mrs. Sayre herself, coming out of a mirror in room 23. Room 23 is another room of interest with sightings of a dark figure coming out of the walls and walking across the floor where children and staff used to live. Now I want to go and rent out room 23.
It's a beautiful building.
Yeah. I offhand I can't remember if I did walk by this. I'm sure I did. All the architecture, it's so beautiful. And there are houses, I guess you would call them if you lived like in New York City, you would call them like a brownstone,
Yeah.
you know. So if you are to buy one of the historic homes in Bethlehem, there's a strict policy of not that they have a front yard so much, but like say like you do have like the bushes and the walk like the little front porch when your windows. So like for Christmas, for example, you cannot put Christmas lights on your house. You can put a wreath on your door, and in the windows you can put like the LED candles because they want to keep it like the way it looked in the 1700s and in the 1800s, which I kind of get, you know. But you're wincing your eyes, shaking your
You're
head.
not telling me how I'm decorating my fucking house.
So you wouldn't want to live there because you couldn't decorate for Halloween.
I'd do it anyway. Fuck, what are they gonna do? Give me a break.
Oh crap.
You own this
Okay.
type of house. Get the fuck out of here.
So let me just look this one up really quick. The next one is the Regalsville Public Library. This is let's see. Oh, it does not tell me where it's at. So it's near the Delaware Water Gap. So some of these aren't really, I mean, Lehigh Valley, yeah, it's still like Delaware Water Gap. So for a library, it's not always so quaint. Visitors tout the restless spirits that abound rising from the Native American settlement on which the town was said to have been built. Often they take the form of a small girl in white playing on the library lawn or figures lurking near the fireplace. But Reverend Jeffrey A. Wargo, the former pastor of St. John's United Church of Christ in Regalsville, collected ghost stories after he moved to the town. He found instances of harmless and more aggressive behavior and found Regalsville is filled with these spirits stirred by the disturbance of Lenape sacred ground. So yeah, so Lenape are out of Jersey. So yeah, right on the Delaware Water Gap. I'm actually a smidgen of Lenape. So I just gotta find someone else that has a little bit more of me, and I can open up a casino.
I thought it was called Lenape.
Well, Lenape to you white folk.
Oh,
It's actually
sorry
pronounced.
for that smidgen.
Yeah, it's actually Lenape. So,
Lenape.
all right.
I've only been saying it wrong for 40 years because we always used to go to Lake Lenape.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Who thought?
Okay, now this one is literally 2 minutes from my house, and I'm surprised that they haven't changed the name. It's the Museum of Indian Culture. I'm surprised, like well, but you know what? I mean, hey, if the Native Americans are running it and they want to keep it Indian culture, that'd be it. So this is actually a very, I mean, it's the building itself is not, I mean, it's not big, but it's probably one of those where it looks small from the outside but bigger on the inside. Um, I actually do want to go in there. They're open on the weekends, and I wanted to go. They had a Native American, like it was, I guess you call it a powwow, where it was well, that's what they call it, a powwow, when
Yeah.
they do the dances and they had the horses and then they had all types of vendors, and there's something called Indian tacos, I think it is, but it was their corn festival, and they make the corn in all different types of way, but I had poison ivy and I did not want to be out in that August sun, you know. So though founded in 1980, the museum is located in an 18th century stone farmhouse in Little Lehigh Parkway. Guests staying in the upstairs lounge have reported sounds of loud footsteps waking them up in the middle of the night. Others have seen a young girl carrying flowers or heard a ball bouncing. And this actually is on my walking trail. So I have the covered bridge, and the Indian Museum, I would have to make a left, but I usually just go straight at the bridge because there's some old ass farmhouses that I love looking at. And then I have like the creek going all the way down. And I mean, these old farmhouses, they've been repurposed into like the like the public works office where they the big farms like now store like the supplies and stuff, but there's this one old house that you can't see in because they blacked out the windows, and I just want to see what it looks like inside so bad. But man, when I hear like hauntings out of it, like an Indian museum, I want to see like, Native American ghost.
Yeah,
That'd be cool. Hearing like their war cries and whatnot.
that would be dope.
Yeah. All right. So the State Theater. This is again is in Easton. J. Fred Osterstock was the manager of the State Theater in Easton for more than 30 years, and it appears he is still making it his home. Better known as Fred the Ghost, the jokester is the inspiration for the 78-year-old theater's Scholastic Freddie Awards and was the subject of a Travel Channel documentary series, Most Haunted in America, in 2007. Workers and visitors report finding pennies, smelling cigar smoke, and seeing a figure leave the stage, and they blame any projector malfunctions on Fred, who seems to prefer live performances to screenplays.
That's
I'm going to go
funny.
check that doc out. I have Discovery Plus, so I'm going to check that out. All right, so the Moravian Bookshop. I've been in this bookshop. It's the oldest bookstore in the country. And
Does that say 1713?
yes,
Holy
yeah.
shit.
Well, where do you see 1713? Where are you at?
It's on the picture.
Oh, I was on the picture. Okay. Yes. Yes, it is the oldest bookstore, and the college, I think, is the old the oldest college in the country as well, like right up there with like Harvard and stuff. So the bookstore is just that, it's a bookstore. And actually, I think right next to the bookstore is a like a speakeasy. Looks pretty cool. Yeah. Those are like coming back in a way, not that it's like prohibition, but people are opening up like distilleries in the form of like a speakeasy, which is pretty cool. So, Stories of Spirits roaming Moravian Bookshop, America's oldest bookstore, tend to paint them as more helpful than harmful. As one story goes, two workers were closing up shop when one saw a dark figure running toward the back of the deli. Thinking it was I don't remember a deli in there. Okay. Thinking it was a thief, the two workers tried to corner it in the kitchen, only to find each other and a stove burner that was still lit. Yeah, this place was pretty big. But I don't remember a deli there. might have been a while ago. Because just when you think you're done walking it, there's like another door, like a step up and whatnot. So the inn at Jim Thorpe. I was supposed to go to Jim Thorpe on my birthday, but my lazy ass slept all day. But Jim Thorpe, if you've never been, listeners and viewers should go. It's like one of those towns where you step back in time. Guests at this historic New Orleans style inn have reported seeing ghosts and other paranormal activities since it opened in 1849. They're usually friendly and harmless, pulling small pranks on guests, such as tipping over chairs and throwing towels onto the floor. Now, God's Acre, I did walk through this cemetery in Bethlehem City. It's pretty cool. And the church that it's associated with is beautiful as well. This Moravian cemetery in Bethlehem ceased burials in the early 1900s, but ghosts apparently linger. One visitor recalls seeing an animal-like figure shuffling between trees and stopping at the grave of a child. Mortality rates among the children were high in the 1700s. Two women reported seeing a woman in white gesturing to her neck and trying to call out to them, standing next to the grave of a teenager who died of a respiratory illness. When another tourist took a photo of the spot, they found a shadow in the shape of a woman peeking out from a tree in the photo. So, when do you think would be the best time of day to go to a cemetery and take photos? Like dusk?
More likely.
Yeah, yeah.
Even though
So,
early morning's cool because you'll probably have the fog lifting off the
mm,
grass,
yeah.
but that's hard to it's hard to temper when that actually happens. So I don't
Hmm.
know if you really want to get up early and not have fog.
Yeah, yeah. Guess like I want to go out there and just start taking photos and see what I get.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So Boyd's Theater again in Bethlehem. Here we have another woman in white. The story told on a Bethlehem ghost tour. Oh, they do have Bethlehem ghost tours. Alleges that two women attend the theater for an afternoon movie. One friend went to the bathroom first, and when she entered the theater, saw what she thought was her friend waving at her from the front row. But when she approached, she wasn't there. I'm gonna, you know what? And I did not know I didn't read this one when I was lifting it from the article. I have not heard of any Bethlehem tours. I'm gonna look into that because if I had known they did ghost tours, I would have, looked into it and possibly went on it. Hotel Bethlehem. Have you ever seen this place before?
No.
This place is beautiful. I think I'm not 100% sure, but I think Ghost Hunters was there like way back in the day. It is when you're on the outskirts of Bethlehem City, I forget what street it is. You can see the sign, like the big old like neon sign, like it's really cool. And the building is huge. They have a big restaurant down in the bottom. It's like a bougie type place, a little pricey, but man, does it look beautiful inside. With a centuries long history of hospitality, the hotel embraces its ghost history, especially the particular paranormal room 932, which it says is one of its most requested rooms. Visitors have seen reflections in mirrors, orb like figures, paper flying off desks, even a man at the foot of the bed asking, "Why are you in my room?" The ghost of May Yo, a singer and actress from the late 1800s who grew up in the hotel, has been seen in lobby areas and the third floor exercise room, according to the hotel's website. Frank Smith, a former owner who committed suicide, is also rumored to wander the halls. All right, Irene, for my birthday next year, we are going to go to room 932.
You better book that early because it sounds like a lot of people are booking that room.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. Wow, that's a very cool story. Okay, so the Sun Inn. Again, this is in Bethlehem. Bethlehem sure is haunted. Uh, the inn was built in 1758, but reports of paranormal activity first began to surface during a restoration in the 1970s. That's because you're stirring with shit. That's why it's going on. There had been reports of a ghost figure in a white apron, possibly a nurse named Elizabeth Moore, who died there in 1897. The ghost of Moravian brother Johann Albrecht may also be guarding a secret treasure in one of the rooms. A child named Sweetie is believed to haunt the third floor. Tourists have picked up strange sounds on recording devices, and some say they have heard a ghost who sings when the piano is played. Thought to be the spirit of William Jones, who was Secretary of the Navy under President James Madison and died at the inn in 1831.
Oh wow, so that's a pretty
Yeah.
public figure that died in there too.
Yeah. All right. So we have the Iron Mule. Former owner Al Stempo told the Morning Call in 2010 that he's had run-ins with Johnny the Wop, the ghost of mobster Johnny Ferreira, also known as Severio Damiano, who was gunned down in the restaurant in July 1928, back when it was called the Black Horse Inn. Stempo said paranormal activity has driven some upstairs tenants crazy, with doors occasionally flying open and closing. In 2009, the restaurant was featured in an Animal Planet show, The Haunted, which investigated paranormal activity through the lens of animal sensitivities. That's new. I've never heard of that. Animal sensitivities. Johnny the Wop. Let's look up this guy real quick and see. Let's see. I love these old gangster names. What would your gangster name be, Jared?
No idea.
Johnny the Wop. We got images of him. Nope, we don't have any images, but I found news articles of his assassination. And then I found another website. Haunted Pennsylvania is a mobster's tortured soul facing eternal damnation in Easton restaurant. All right, there you go. So those are my haunted locations. So you know what, Jared? I think maybe like in the spring we should come up and go to these places and like do like an on location or something like that.
We could do
And
that.
yeah. Yeah, so we got there's some other places that I went to, other websites. I'm not too far from the Appalachian Trail. I'm like 45 minutes. And 'cause I did another search a while ago, like haunted roads or trails in the Lehigh Valley, and the Appalachian Trail did come up. So have there ever been any places that you wanted to visit that you read online or just heard about?
In this area, I'm pretty sure I've heard of Hotel Bethlehem,
Mm-hmm.
and it is a stunning building, so that would definitely be one of them. A lot of graveyards. Definitely want to hit Gettysburg at night one time.
Yeah, that would be awesome, man. You know?
I just hear a lot of good things out of that. You know, the orb photography, which,
Yeah, yeah. Have you ever been to Clinton Road in New Jersey?
yes,
Have you had anything weird happen? No.
negative
Did you go during the day or night?
nighttime.
Okay. And it's like a 10-mile road, right?
Yeah, it's pretty long, and we did
And
everything
there's
you're supposed to do, like throw
okay.
pennies at the bridge and dumb shit like
Okay.
that. We tried it all. Yeah, we me and the friends were when we graduated. I was still working at the mall. We would take night trips out to whatever we found in
Mm.
weird New Jersey.
Mm-hmm.
So,
All the good stuff was like central North Jersey too.
well, we had one at I don't even know where. I don't remember where it is. So, if you're listening, tell us where it is. It was Apple Pie Hill.
In Jersey?
Yes.
That doesn't sound familiar.
You could get to the top of this hill, and then there was a radio tower you can sneak onto.
Oh,
So it was actually the tallest point in South Jersey. You could actually see Philly and New York from the top of this tower. So
Philly and New York?
yeah, you can see both.
Oh shit, wow.
Not clear, but you can see the
Right,
lights.
yeah, yeah.
But there was a house there that was completely abandoned. All the clothes were still there. The car was still there. And of course, now there's satanic drawings all over it and everything from the
Mm-hmm.
kids. But yeah, apparently the family just up and disappeared because everything was still in the house. A lot of shit was still in there. This was 20 years ago when we were in there. But it was there so long that a tree was growing through the car.
Oh, well, that's cool.
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
we broke in there one night.
Nice.
But,
Have you heard of Indian Cabin Mill Road in Egg Harbor City?
no.
Okay. I found this in Weird Jersey as well. So you know where the Egg Harbor City Lake is, correct?
Yep.
Okay. So if you're going up Philadelphia Avenue, and I believe that takes you right to the lake. Or do you make a right? I think you make a right. I'm not sure what street, but the lake will be on your right. You take the second entrance into the lake. So you're on the left side of the lake if you're looking at it. Okay. You park in the parking lot. I mean, well, the dirt parking lot. And if you're looking at the lake after you park, there's that dirt road you came up. So that's Indian Cabin Mill Road. It runs all through whatever area that is. And once you clear the parking areas, and Dave Brown had showed me this. I think it was Dave Brown. Yeah, it was Dave Brown. Yeah, Dave Brown showed me. I always heard that there was a small burial ground, like a little cemetery of two headstones, I think. And you can look this up in online, just Google Indian Cabin Mill Road. But the story goes that there was an old house there, and it was, I think, maybe sometime early 1800s. The father was away for whatever reason. So you had the mom and I think two children, and the Native Americans attacked them and killed them. So they are buried at this one location, and I think like maybe 100 and some odd years later, they dedicated like a new tombstone for him. So you have, I think, and they put it over the old one with like a memorial type thing. But if you keep now, you can drive down this road, but you want to have like a four-wheel drive because it's all dirt, it's bumpy, whatnot. But if you keep on driving down there, there's an old church. I believe there was some old houses, but people who have chimed in on the story all said the same thing, that when they got down to this certain area, now the church is like not in use, it's dilapidated, again, graffitied, satanic stuff, but there was a black truck that would chase you off the road, like it'll drive you away or
Hmm.
something like that. Like, so basically it's like hillbillies living out there. And it's Egg Harbor City, South Jersey, so but yeah, if you just Google that, it's a cool read on Weird New Jersey. Actually, Irene got me when we moved to Pennsylvania. She did get me, well, it's blurred out, but Weird Pennsylvania.
Ah.
And it's a hardcover. So I have yet to really look into it. But I'm going to definitely take some time and see if I can find any cool things around here.
Yeah, you gotta figure out where we're going when I get this camera so we can do some
Yeah,
on location
definitely.
shit.
They actually, Weird New Jersey, well, the organization Weird US created a road atlas of like from east to west or whatever, like all like the cool. If I ever won the lottery, that would be like one of my things. I would get an RV and then just go to state,
Show me your weird shit now, son.
Yeah.
Do you remember that? I want to say this was in EHT. It was a giant building with the Titanic painted on it.
No.
I gotta look back. Yeah, it was. You had to make some weird turns. It was like
Let
an
me s-
old pink building with the Titanic drawn on the entire side of it. Like very
hmm,
badly drawn. Like kindergarten drawn.
Titanic mural. And let me see. I can Google it really quick. Do you remember what part of EHD?
No, I don't
Okay.
remember how to get there. I don't even remember if it was 100% EHT, but it was the weirdest shit. And we found it by accident one day.
Let me see. Uh, I'll have to do some. Oh, maybe this is it. Pleasantville.
Okay, that sounds
Yeah,
right.
hold on. Yeah, hold on. Um, how long ago did you see this?
Oh, long time ago.
Okay.
I was still in my 20s,
Okay. That wasn't that long ago because that was like maybe what, 15 years ago?
20 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna have to do some reading. Yeah, this was an issue 29 of Weird New Jersey magazine. It must be like West Atlantic City because EHT. It's weird for the people who don't know what we're talking about. EHT is Egg Harbor Township.
Yep.
So you have Egg Harbor Township, and then the next one of the towns next to Egg Harbor Township is Pleasantville,
Yep.
and then right after Pleasantville is West Atlantic City, and then
Correct.
Atlantic City, and West Atlantic City is governed by Egg Harbor Township. Weird. I don't know why it's not governed by Pleasantville.
There's
So
some weird loop with the bay, I think is why that
yeah,
happened. But do you remember the mansion in West Atlantic City? It used to be right on the Black Horse Pike on the way in. It was
yes,
like a
vaguely.
terracotta mansion. Yeah.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
was a
There's a lot. I mean,
that was a famous actress who killed herself in there or something along those lines.
really.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not there anymore.
Mm.
I wonder. I'm gonna look it up. How about the Now I don't remember. I've never been there, and I wish I've seen it. But the Brigantine Castle.
Oh, I saw it.
Yeah, because that's your neck of the woods when you're growing
Yeah.
up.
I my grandparents lived there and I used to always make my uncle take the long way to get there so I could see the castle. I
Yeah,
wasn't old enough to go, but I saw it before it burned down.
nice. And did they ever say how it burned down? Was there something weird behind it?
Oh yeah, insurance
Yeah.
money.
Ah,
What had
okay.
happened was the hurricane destroyed it, damaged the
Okay.
pier. They'd had to redo all of it. So they sold
Okay.
it, and then a couple months later, it all burned down.
Mm,
A haunt that hasn't been turned on in 6 months burned down over the
right.
ocean.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
That's very weird. Now correct me if I'm wrong. The Brigantine Castle, was that like a dark ride
No, that
or
was a
like
haunted walkthrough. It was
oh,
one of the
okay.
first haunts in America, actually.
Really?
Yeah, it opened in the 70s.
Oh shit. That's cool.
Yeah.
Um Now isn't there like a dark ride in Wildwood or there
No,
was?
there is.
There is, yeah. I think I went on it once when I was young.
Yep, it's still
So
there.
have you when's the last time you think you were there?
Last time I went on it was probably about 2 years ago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
How is it? Is it hokey or
They're all hokey.
okay?
They're all super funny, but it's just it's creepy. It's cool. It's my childhood. It's
Mm-hmm.
just I'd love to go. My buddy Dan was talking about getting a list of all the dark rides we can actually hit during the summer, and then
Okay.
like doing an episode on that for the haunts.
That would be fun. Are those still I mean, is that still like are there many around?
I only know of like three for sure.
Okay.
The one in Wildwood. There's one at Frightland, or it was there 1 year, but it was like a new one, so it was weird. And then a third one is in Cedar Point, that amusement park. I
Where's Cedar Point at?
think it's Pennsylvania.
Really?
Yeah, it's something. Cedar
Let me
Point.
let me look it up real quick.
Oh, Knobles.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Okay, I know where you're
Yeah,
at.
Cedar
Yeah,
Point
okay.
owns Knobles and Dorney Park. So Cedar
I didn't
Point's
know
the
that.
company.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. And Knoebels, it's free to get in, I believe, too.
Yep.
Yeah, there's no admission. Yeah, that's like 2 hours from us. That's like another thing on our list that we wanted to do. Irene's one good friend actually lives not too far from there. Yeah, that would be a fun episode. I actually taking it back to like fun houses and dark rides. Last week I watched the Toby Hooper classic, The Fun House.
It's been a long time since I saw that.
Yeah, I haven't seen it in forever. And the one thing that just cracked me up was in the intro. So it's a young girl. You could tell she's young. She's 18. I looked it up on IMDb. I just was like, whoa, was this underage? Um, but the brother is a creeper and like pulls a prank on her like while she's taking a shower. That was like a thing in the 80s. There were certain horror movies I remember watching where the brother's just being a creeper, like hiding in the closet. I think it was like Night of the Demons where he's in the closet and he takes a picture of her as she's undressing. He's like, I saw your boobies. So,
Oh, the fucking 70s and 80s.
yeah.
Oh, man. Well, I did see on Facebook a dude was selling a dark ride.
Really?
Yeah, he wanted 75 grand.
Damn.
Yeah, you could probably get more, but he said a lot of the props were deteriorating.
Okay.
Because you gotta remember, back then it was all foam and
Yeah,
shitty dressings, and to keep one open, you got to flame retard everything now, and it's
yeah,
just,
yeah. I can only imagine the insurance too, you
well,
know?
yeah, you got to get that
Yeah,
event insurance. Yeah,
yeah, yeah. So speaking of like horror movies, how about Terrifier? Killing it at the box office.
not bad, not
Yeah, it's
bad.
it's it's still going. Like I think this is gonna be the Halloween weekend. It's the last weekend it'll probably be in theaters, maybe. October 31st, they're releasing it on what's that called? Screenbox or something. And over in Europe, because they don't have um there's no distribution rights over in Europe, the Blu-ray's already out over there.
Oh
So
wow.
yeah, yeah. So I have it on pre-order. Do you plan on watching that?
Oh yeah, I'll get it.
Yeah, yeah. So it's funny how art is more popular than Michael Myers right now.
We shit the bed on that one.
Oh God.
My son asked me, he's like, I want to watch Terrifier. I'm like, I don't know, bro. You know, because there's a couple scenes in there where I'm like, all right, you're 13. I know you've watched
Mhm.
a ton of horror, but I was finally like, you know what? You watched American Psycho, so it's just, you're fine. Go ahead.
There's only one. I want to watch it again, but there's one scene I can't watch in American Psycho. Can you guess which scene that is?
No.
When he kills the dog. After
Oh,
he, yeah, I don't like that. It's like when I fast forward to that part.
I
But
gotcha.
so do you now is he one to be prone to like having nightmares after watching a horror movie?
Not
No.
at all.
Okay.
Nope, but he won't do haunts. He
So weird.
refuses.
Probably because it's in his face. Whereas if he gets scared of watching a horror movie, he can turn it right off.
I know, but like, these are actors he knows who they are. He's met them in person. Like, he's
Right.
shaken their hand without makeup before. It's so funny. I'm just like, bro, come on.
Yeah, well, I kind of get it in a way too, because like last year when we went to the Waldorf, I went with Josh's family. Savannah, she had the necklace on, so not to bother her and whatnot. She knew her dad was Jason. When he came out of the cabin and started running after her, she freaked out. So
Oh,
I
wow.
I kind of get it. So um yeah, so yeah, it's cool.
I
All
just
right,
need
well,
him to get into it so I can have a social media manager.
oh, because he's so tech savvy.
Well,
Now, what
he's
about
getting
your?
there.
Yeah, okay, all right. Well, that he might say, "Well, Dad, you gotta. I need a 10. What is it? A W4? You know?
I'll throw him a couple bucks. I will throw if I don't have to sit there because once we put out the video,
Yeah,
there's YouTube. You got to put it on
yeah.
Twitter. You got to put it on this. You got to put it on. It's that shit that's so time consuming that I would love to
So
just
okay,
turn
so
over
you
to
don't
him.
mind like the editing and making the graphics. It's the other stuff. Okay, all right,
Yeah, the graphics I have all saved now. So like when we're done
right,
here, I'm just gonna throw it in that template, and our names will pop up and everything. So I've
nice.
got that down. It's just waiting for the shit to finish, and then the advertising just drives me nuts with all the hashtags and everything. Hash,
Right, I know. Well,
hashtag haunt, hashtag
I got it.
haunts.
You know what I got to start doing? I got to save my hashtags in like my notepad on my phone because what?
Don't do that.
No? Why?
If you use the same hashtags too much, you get shadow banned.
Oh, no, but see, depending on what kind of photo I drop, it's those hashtags are related to that photo. So, like if I'm in a part 7 hashtag or photo, there's certain hashtags that I use that relate to part 7 costume.
Okay,
Yeah. So
I got
it's
you.
just time consuming,
It takes
But
forever.
that's good to know about the shadow ban. I did not
Yeah.
know that.
When we started Halloween Haunt 7 years ago. I got to 1,000 followers in like a year. It was awesome.
Hmm.
Just boom, 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 boom. Then the second and third year, we got to like 1,500. And then we started getting more haunts. The website was still hella popular. I was getting 5,000 views a day on that thing. So, like, people were reading our reviews.
Yeah.
We got 20 more followers on Instagram. What? And now this year, our YouTube channel for the last 28 days has 17,000 views.
Nice.
Like 900
That's just the last 28 days.
Yep.
That's not a combined total.
Nope. 28
Good for
days.
you. Good for you.
And here, I'll look it up because it has the total hours too. Make sure the wife didn't text me. All right, here we go. So, yeah, 16,700 views in the last 28 days and 825 watch hours. Okay, so that's going off the chart. We have gained 4 more Instagram followers. And I post every time I release a video. So I've posted maybe 60 times in this period. Nothing. Wow. So it's got to be the hashtags because I did what you were talking about before.
Yeah.
Just put them in notes, and every time I release something, copy, paste, copy, paste, copy, paste. All of a sudden, I don't get shit on there anymore.
Yeah.
Very weird.
That is weird. When some entities don't use hashtags, but yet get all these new followers. I don't get it.
Well, you can pay for them too. There's sites for that.
Yeah.
Because I thought about doing it just to kick off the YouTube last year. Because, we had a following, but I didn't want it to look like we had 4 YouTube followers. So I was looking at it last year. But the thing is, once Facebook, not so much. Instagram and YouTube, if they're bots that you paid for, they will eliminate them.
Right. So now, so that's stupid though, because there are certain hashtags that people pick up on. They might type something in, and that might be my problem too. That might be my
So what I started doing is changing them up a little bit, and I've noticed a little jump. But I don't know if that's jump from people are seeing us out, because it's all over my hoodie. It's all over her hoodie.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's...
Hoodies, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I got to get mine. I got to get a horror shed mug. Definitely. I'm sporting the Phillies. I know this is going to air after we start the series, but
speaking of Phillies, you want to hear something? Okay, so Monday, Irene says, so PP&L, which is like a utility company out here, her bank shares like the same building with them. So they reached out to the CEO and was like, if any of your employees want to go to the World Series, we'll give you tickets for $280. So Irene says, do you want to go to World Series? I said, well, I would love to go to World Series, but you want to adopt this dog this Saturday. And that's like the cost of 2 tickets. So what's more important?
The World Series. You can find a dog on the street.
Shit.
That's funny.
That's funny.
Oh,
well,
man.
So that's good to know. So you've been using like different hashtags then?
I've been trying to change it up, adding like travel photography, travel video, because that's what we're doing.
Yeah.
And it seemed to help a little bit, but I don't know if these guys are just seeing us out there because we
could be.
We have the new hoodies.
This is the best networking right here. I'm wearing it out to the food truck place tonight. It's going to be because they're having like a Halloween. I mean, it's the South Mall. It's basically, it looks like the Shore Mall before it closed.
Okay.
But they're having trick or treating tonight. So
everybody shits on the Shore Mall, but the Shore Mall had the best arcade in the area
and the best pizza place.
Okay.
Yeah, Cosimo's or whatever it's called.
I'm wrong. Ocean One Mall had the best arcade.
I've never been to the Ocean One. Well, when the Ocean Mall was like a mall.
Yeah.
I didn't go to it until I was like 19 or 20, and that's only because I had to. There was a Sam Goody in there, so I had to like work a shift one day, so I never got to really walk that mall. So their arcade was good.
God, it was huge.
Was it?
It was the whole back third of that mall on the lower level.
Get out, really?
Yep.
Damn.
Yeah, that thing was insane. I had so much fun there.
What was your favorite arcade game playing there?
Back then, it was like Operation Wolf.
Yeah, that's a great game.
Then the Turtles game came out and stuff like that. And then, Mortal Kombat was just awesome.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah.
I started with the early ones up to the big ones.
Yeah, that was our ritual growing up. We would go out to breakfast on a Sunday, and then we would go to the spaceport.
Yep, Spaceport was the shit.
It was. Yeah, I remember the Shore Mall when it was fun,
Yeah, it
in
wasn't
the
bad.
80s. Yeah. It's just the Hamilton Mall killed it
Yeah,
when they have Hamilton. And now look at the Hamilton Mall.
yeah, half empty.
Yep. I mean, I remember like, and I know we're going totally off topic from haunted locations. We're going to haunted malls now. But
Hamilton Mall is haunted.
is it?
I have
All right.
proof. Well, I could
What's
tell
your
that
what's
right after you're done here.
okay. So I worked in the mall. I worked at Sam Goody, the best job to have when you're in high school. And the mall was the place to be Friday, Saturday nights. I remember working Black Friday, the Christmas season, how big it was. Now you walk in there and it's like tumbleweeds.
Yep.
The only reason I would still go to the mall was my friends own the comic book store there, Level Up Entertainment. So that's where I would get my comics. But other than that, I didn't do any. I didn't. The food court's not even a food court anymore. There's like two things in there. That was the best. Another good reason working at the mall. I got food court discounts. I was at Arby's all the time.
That Arby's breakfast slammed. I like the Arby's breakfast there.
Never. I just had their just like the dinners, and they used to do this really good chicken sandwich. They don't do it anymore, but that was like my favorite of
That
their menu.
cheesesteak place in the mall slapped too. They did an
Yeah,
awesome job. I
yeah.
ate way too many of them. I worked in that mall for 13 years.
Oh, which store did you work
I
at?
started at KB when I was just graduated high
KB,
school.
yep.
So I did Black Friday KB. Talk
Oh
about battle
God.
in the trenches.
Yeah.
And then I went on to LensCrafters.
Okay. All right.
Now, LensCrafters used to sit under an Italian restaurant, if you remember. It was top left by Sears. There was an Italian restaurant on that second floor.
Man, I don't remember that.
I'm going back. Like
Oh, yes, 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 yes.
it was
Yeah.
fancy. It was like it was
Yeah.
more than a pizza place, but it was like a sit down Italian
Yeah.
restaurant.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, so I spent 11 years in this lab at LensCrafters. We would constantly hear people calling our name. Now, I'm not alone in this. Other people saw this shit. You would look out and watch people walk past in the back room. Nobody would be back there. You'd even go look. Nobody would be back there. Constant hearing kids laughing. Constantly smelling Italian food. There's not a lot of Italian restaurants in that mall.
No.
There wasn't any. You had the chicken place, the cheesesteak place, the Chinese place, and then the Chick-fil-A, and then Arby's.
And the pizza place.
And the pizza place.
Yeah.
But for where LensCrafters is to the pizza place.
Yeah, that's a walk right there. Yeah.
And at 9 a.m., they're not even making pizzas yet.
Yeah.
So we would constantly smell that. And we would have these rolls, kind of like a roll of tape.
Mm-hmm.
It was like someone pulled it off, and you just watch it all fly in front of you. And you're like,
Okay.
I'm going to go smoke now. Yeah, I don't want to be in here.
That's so weird.
It was
Wow.
all the time.
Yeah, I remember when I would open up on whatever day I would open up the store on the second floor past the elevator on the left hand side. If you're walking towards the back of the mall, there was the bagel place.
Yes.
I would get two bagels with cream. I said extra cream cheese. That was like my thing. I love the homemade bagels. Yeah, that was like my best job working in Sam Goody, working in a mall. I remember I had this one guy I worked with, Kevin. He was the key holder.
Wait a minute. Kevin. What was his last name?
I cannot remember.
Was he heavy set like me with glasses?
No. He was like my size. He sounded like he was from Boston.
Did he have black hair?
No, he had like reddish
Kevin,
reddish hair. But yeah, he sounded like he was from Boston. He was going to Stockton for teaching, but it was funny how he hated kids, but he liked being a teacher. But he was a big jokester, and I remember there was the to the right of the store, there was the railings out overlooked, like down below. Well, somehow a kid got his head stuck in between the railings, and it was like a quiet afternoon. You just heard his laugh echo through the whole mall. Oh
Oh
man, the
man.
stories I could tell at Sam Goody. Basically, if you've seen Empire Records, that was like how we were at Sam Goody.
I think
So
every mall job was like that because
yeah,
come Christmas when I was at KB, it sucked. But when I was at Lunch Crafters, it was dead, dead. Like we
yeah,
wouldn't get a
yeah.
job for a couple hours.
Oh
So like
wow.
we would just do laps around the mall, messing with people and getting coffee. We must have been drinking like 3 cups of coffee a day from that place.
Oh geez.
Yeah, it was insane. It was just
Oh
boredom.
man, we could do like a non-horror horror shed scenes from a mall.
We could, we could.
Yeah. All
Oh
right. Well, this
man,
has been a fun episode. I love talking about the haunted locations in the Lehigh Valley, and I'll do some more research and do like streets and trails and whatnot. But I'm gonna go get my food on at the food truck thing.
all right, let's
What are you
wrap
doing
this up.
tonight? Are you anything
I
exciting?
I have to do laundry because I
All
just came
right.
back from a trip, and then eat some food. I have to make like 7 videos.
Holy shit. All right. Well, I'll let you
me,
get to it.
me and Terry got to record, and then we'll see what happens.
All right, my friend.
All right, this has been the Horror Shed Podcast. Thanks for hanging out, listening about the hauntings in Lehigh. We'll see you guys soon.